I think it's notable that you have a career and have made a career that involves making people laugh. And yet you're dealing with some really heavy topics here.
Yeah, I recently did a little monologue on my Instagram, which I rarely do. I felt it was kind of risky. Certainly there was a big backlash against it.
I am greatly concerned about the direction our country is taking.
I just feel like I need to make my voice heard. People who already have their minds made up, screw them. Whatever. They don't think there's a race problem in America, or they think it's fine for police to shoot a guy 7 times in the back. That's fine. They're welcome to those opinions. But again, maybe I can influence some of those Dwight Schrute fans, from middle America who are a little bit confused about things, and maybe just tip the dial just a little bit, a few hundred, a few thousand people. Oh, hey, Greta.
Hey, could you get me Steve Carell's autograph?
Climate change is, I think, the biggest issue facing humanity, facing 7 billion people on this planet. And the reason I say it's the biggest is it's going to affect every other issue. Even if you think the biggest issue is racial injustice, let's say, when racial injustice is compounded by what's going to happen to lower income communities and oppressed communities, it's going to multiply it 100-fold, 1,000-fold. We might, in North America, have experienced in the last, 30 or 40 years, maybe a 1 degree temperature change. But in the Arctic, it's been 1.5 to 2 degree temperature change. The sea ice is at its lowest level in recorded history by a long shot. So one of the things I wanted to do with An Idiot's Guide to Climate Change was make it accessible for everyone. Oftentimes, our news is so segmented into news that goes into the right wing bubble and the left wing bubble. And I kind of felt like, people who understand the science of climate change are already behind, legislating the changes that are necessary. And people that are older, like my age and older, on the other side of things, are never going to change their minds. But perhaps there are young people who are in the kind of political center who are confused about the issue, who don't really know what's up. Maybe they've got a conservative uncle who poo-poos the science, and maybe they've got friends at school that are behind the science. They don't really know what to think. So I just wanted to take people on a journey, just like I was going on a journey, to discover more about the science and maybe change some attitudes with some young people that might be a little bit on the fence. It is both urgent and scary, and it is also fixable. But we, as a global species, humanity needs to take some pretty serious action. I think that things happen for a reason, and I don't think that it's any accident that this global pandemic has sparked this giant race conversation and conflagration that's going on at this time. There's a universality to this pandemic. We are all going through this together. We are 7 billion human beings on a planet going through this. We can fix this. We can solve this, but we need to work together. And we need to see ourselves as a species, not as, these little subdivisions of people that are being pitted against each other. Like, we have to work together to solve big problems and big issues. So we're starting to flex those muscles. We can then use those muscles to address climate injustice and racial injustice, which are 2 huge issues affecting humanity, not just here in America, it's all over the world. To quote John Lennon, you may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. Like, we have to hold on to that vision that we can fix this and we can make a difference, because it's way too easy to just get bogged down in despair and pessimism and cynicism and thinking that things are never going to change. It's going to be a rough road. It might take 100 years, but we will get through this. Just keep working and keep loving.